Hello and welcome to the Football Fan Show for another week. How are you doing? It's Callum Brown with me today. This week, we are talking. We're going to take you through all the results from today's games. Premier League, EFL, National League. We're going to talk about the Champions League that happened midweek and English football plans to change. Well, some of the biggest clubs plan to change English football. Hold on, I thought that was last week. Different day, different plan. Same day, different plans, isn't it? What was it? Project Big Picture last week, which is now dead and buried. And now it's, what is it? European Premier League. It's just FIFA's latest attempt to annoy UEFA into submission. You can contact us this evening. Sorry, I've got relatives down and I'm absolutely shattered. I've got to be honest. And if you think I look paler than usual, I'm not sick. I've just got lights, which I'm going to dim slightly. There we go. That's better. I look like a normal coloured human being now for my complexion. If you want to contact us, you can call us 0333 303 4868. You can also Skype us at TFFS Live, TFFS Live, which is also our Twitter handle as well. So tweet us there at facebook.com/The Football Fan Show. And our website is deadair.media/The Football Fan Show, Twitch TV /The Football Fan Show. And if you search on YouTube, on the U of Tube, The Football Fan Show Live, then you will find us. Otherwise, if you just type in The Football Fan Show, you'll get those idiots from Arsenal Fan TV. Not that I have anything against them. I can't stand them. They're all clowns. Anyway, Callum is with us. I've got to start. I've set aside 10 minutes. Set aside 10 minutes. Do you think you can keep this particular bit to 10 minutes? I'll time you, and I'll let you know when it's over. I've got to talk to you about Merseyside Derby, because I've got you one. Pickford, Virgil van Dijk, 10 minutes. Starts now. Say whatever the heck you like.
Right, okay. I'll try and best not bias come into it. I think everyone
No, you be biased. You completely go off on one.
Well, he should have been sent off.
Just don't swear.
Right. Jordan Pickford should have been sent off. Plain and simple. Anyone can see that now. The fact that there's been no retrospective action just speaks of the corruption of the referees in this country and the absolute ignorance that they exude every time that something happens. The fact that Jordan Pickford hasn't come out after the match and actually publicly said anything. Apparently according to Ancelotti, he did, put a message through to Jordan Henderson to pass on to Virgil. Apparently that's good enough these days.
He might as well send him a tweet.
I've got people saying, it wasn't intentional. He didn't intentionally look to hit Van Dijk. It doesn't matter whether it was intentional or not. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was, because I just think Jordan Pickford is a cocky brat who thinks he's good when he isn't. The fact of the matter is, he has lunged into him, completely missed the ball, and if any more force had been put through, that could have snapped his could have been a lot worse than it actually is when you actually see the angles of it. The fact that when you see how straight and almost bent back Van Dijk's knee is, could have been a lot worse. I've already ranted and raved to the wall by myself all week long about it. I mean, there's not more to say. Nothing's going to happen. This still's going to be allowed to get away with.
Decided, yeah, he has. They came out. I saw Sky Sports News midweek. I saw Ancelotti's press conference and how he got, Pickford to apologise, and the apology was kind of like, "Yeah, I'm sorry."
Sorry, I've just made you injured for the rest of the season.
I finally just realised what it reminded me of. It reminded me of an apology from one of the in-betweeners.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can see him. And if I was Van Dijk, I'd come and say, shove your bloody
apology up your Jaxie.
Yeah, up your backside. Yeah, to be polite. It doesn't matter how. I saw on Sky Sports this week. There was can't remember the former player's name was, and he said, "Why don't they do something where if it's an injury like that, where it's 7 to 8 months out at the least, then why can't they bring something in where even if it's retrospectively after the match, even if you don't do it during the match, where the player who commits the tackle is banned for that same length of time,
Yeah.
make it so there's actually a bit of justice in it. Because
Yeah.
what's happened now is that the referees are using, I mean, forget even VAR, just referees themselves are being allowed to get away with silly errors, and then no one's allowed to criticise them because they protect each other. Because David Coote doesn't even come out and say anything because, you know, who's the head ref at the PG2L? What's his name? Can't remember his name, but basically you can tell that in back rooms of their officers they're going, don't say a thing, we'll protect you. It's infuriating how why can't the referee, no matter who it is, can come out and just explain themselves, or if it's a really contentious decision like this where everyone is saying they screwed that up, why can't the referees like a panel after the match come over and look it over and make a consensus decision to either overturn it or to keep it upheld it? Why can't it be retrospective
Action. Yeah. I
analysis
think there
like
is
that?
there is a body for that. They just tend not to use it. And as you said, Callum, like it is. From the description you use, the best way to describe the referees, they're like a mafia. They're like a mafia, and they
Yeah,
protect themselves. They protect each other because they protect the integrity, not of the game, but the
of themselves.
integrity of refereeing. Yes, exactly.
Themselves. That's all they care about. They don't care about the match being because I thought people love football as a sport, and I will always love football because it's about the players. The players decide matches. In recent years, especially with the introduction of VAR, but we won't go into that. We'll just stick to the referees themselves. They've made it more and more about themselves. They're not following their own rules. The rules themselves are a joke because that convoluted and they constantly having to change them because the referees themselves are not following their own rules, and they put themselves above the law in a way. Like they're making themselves center of attention. The worst suspects is, I mean, people wonder why people are constantly saying, "Oh, in the other European leagues, why is VAR and the referee standards work so well there? Because they're actually competent. You know,
Yeah.
you see, they make the right, more often than not, they make the right decisions. Or if a referee misses something, the VAR ref will say, "Well, I haven't seen it either," or "I'm not 100% sure. Go and check the monitor." Why didn't David Coote last weekend say to Michael Oliver, who himself, we call him the greatest, the best referee in the Premier League, which he is, because he gets most things right. Why didn't he say to him, "Go and check the monitor"? Why didn't he say that? Because he didn't want to. Because he said he can't. He I saw on social media that he forgot that he could go back and give the red card, whether it was offside or not for Van Dijk.
Mm.
But then midweek, he's seeing PG2L come out saying, "Well, he did look at it. He was just the only person in the world, the one who actually." Whose opinion mattered on the decision. He's the only person who thought, "Oh, that wasn't red card." If that tackle happened anywhere on the pitch, it'd be a straight red card and a 3 match ban for dangerous foul play. Don't care what anyone says. And you know what disgusts me. And I don't say this much because I don't think consider myself bitter, but all week Everton fans on Twitter, not all of them,
Mm.
because I won't bias. I'll say I know that there's some bad Liverpool fans out there, right? But just personally, from my own experience, I've seen more bad Everton fans, right? But some of the stuff they were putting on Twitter, saying that they stand with Jordan Pickford and it's karma and that, it's disgusting.
Mm.
It's so unprofessional. And I've seen some former Everton players for a Charlton tackle, just going away from the Van Dijk one. For a Charlton tackle that seemed sent off. You seen some of the Everton players on Instagram laughing, putting laughing emojis? Because I think Alan, it's a picture of Alan with the referee on that decision, and he's trying to stop him from appeal against it, And Alan on his post says, "Oh, sorry, mate, for not being able to stop whatever." And all former loads of Everton players with laughing face emojis, laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like Thiago got injured for that. It wasn't a big injury, but he got injured after that. He missed a match. He had to get taken for a scan in hospital. And you got Everton players laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like if we played someone and I saw an opposition player get injured, no matter how severe it was, and I seen Liverpool players laughing about it. I don't think it would happen because I think Liverpool players got a bit more class than that. But I've seen Liverpool players laughing about it. I just think, don't laugh about it. Well, it's not very. Where's the sportsmanship? But just going back, gone off on a tangent there. But um, I mean, until some organization or body that can go from the outside and have a look in and review PGTL as an organization and the referees individually and their performances, nothing's going to change in them because it's all this secrecy, it's all this arrogance, and it's all this. Well, we don't care if you criticize us. We're not going to change our mind. Um, I just don't understand how there can't be any retrospective action. And all the excuses, well, he did see the thing and he's made a decision that it wasn't a red card.
Yeah.
But why, if it's that blatant of a wrong decision, why can't you go back and change it? Why can't you? It's only fair. So it just makes me annoyed. As I said, I was sitting there on Saturday and Sunday after watching some of the matches, and he just got me really down about the sport itself. The sport itself, because referees these days just make me so angry and bitter. I don't want to be like that. It's the first time I've ever been this way.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is the way the sport's going at the moment. Like, I think referees think they can get away with it because there's no fans in the arena, in the stadiums. If there were fans there, then I don't think they'd be able to get away with it because they'd have all the fans, or whoever team is the decision's gone against, will be heckling them like mad. So it's just how referees are not. They say that they're allowed for human error because they're only human, but on the twist side of it, if you're human, you know better than anyone else. You should be allowed to be criticised. Either if a manager or a player comes out and criticises you in their post-match interview, or if it's a truly contentious decision, you should be allowed to come out and explain your reasoning.
Absolutely.
You should be forced to.
Yeah.
And I've seen some things from people saying like, well, then every decision they're going to have to come out after every match and explain every decision. Not necessarily. If it's a case where a decision is that contentious, where it's seriously down to the wire, and they're truly not 100% sure, and they make a decision only for those ones, something which is blatantly a bad decision, like that Jordan Pickford one. That also relates to the offside one with Mane at the end. If David Coote, the one who's drawing the lines, show Mane offside, actually come out and explain how you draw lines, because you see them sitting there for 10, 15 seconds, redrawing the lines over and over again. And I've seen some people saying, well, he's deliberately redrawn lines to make Mane look offside when he isn't. Now, it's immediately close, but when you see it coming down to, and I was saying to my dad about this, comes down to lengths of arm hair offside, millimetres. That's not what the sport's about. VAR is meant to be brought in for outright contentious decisions, not offsides where it's millimetres and stuff like that. It's ruined the sport.
And with that, dun.
Boom.
You actually didn't use your 10 minutes. You've actually got 3 minutes to spare, to be fair. But fancy going on for 3 more minutes? Or do you feel that therapy has worked for you?
To be honest, I was kind of not really thinking about it, and then you mentioned it again before to me, so I thought, well, I'll have to bring up all that misery again. But now I'm okay.
Sorry, I'm such a bastard, clearly. Gotta love it. Football referees, the worst things possible. You just got to accept it, haven't you? You just accept it and move on, and it's the worst feeling in the world, isn't it? When the referee gets it wrong.
It's like when I used to love watching Monday night football with Guy Neville and Jamie Carragher, because you talk about the football, talk about and it'd be funny because they take the piss out of each other. Now, like I'm just watching the full the post match things with Everett and what's his name, Hasselbank, and all you see these days from pundits is talking about referee decisions. That's all talking about. It's like they're not talking about the football anymore. They're talking about the referees. That's what the referees want. Talk about them. Talk about them. All the attention on them. More publicity for them. They don't care if it's good or bad. They'll just carry on doing what they want to do because no one can challenge them.
Yep, and that is the reality of the game of football, isn't it?
It's what's becoming.
It's what it's becoming. Well, we'll talk about. We'll talk a little bit about what it's becoming. Let's go through the scores then for this weekend's fixtures. Saturday, West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. Sorry, what was that?
Fulham's going down.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. Fulham's going down.
No. Hang on then. Can I ask you a question that I asked you a few weeks ago? Are they as bad as that Derby County team?
I mean, back then I said, we'll wait and see. I mean, it hasn't been that long. I mean, it's only Crystal Palace. It was no disrespect at all, of course, but I mean, it was good to see Nathaniel Klein back playing football again. That's one positive I'll look at. But no, sorry for interrupting.
No. You interrupt away. This is as much your program as it is mine. That's why we have you on. So Fulham. We'll get to the Fulham result. Manchester City, West Ham versus Man City. It finished 1-1. It was the live lunchtime kickoff on BT Sport. In fact, actually, we shouldn't even start with this one. We should start with the game yesterday. To be honest with you, we should start with the. You know what? Before we get into this, I have to say, last week we were talking about pay-per-view football, and this week I just thought of like Television X and Babe Station, those Freeview, people, you'd watch it and they'd be like, some hot pay-per-view action. That's how I want them to sell pay-per-view football from now on. That's how just have the football strip it off. No. Just the girl from it just going, would you like to watch some hot footballing action as Burnley take on West Bromwich Albion? And that is the only way I would ever be convinced to pay to watch Burnley. Exactly. That's the only way
you could make Burnley or West Brom sound sexy in any way at all.
Oh my goodness!
Just have a woman in like a bikini stand there before kick-off. Just have a woman on the screen saying, "Please stick around. You see while I take off this. Wait till half time and I'll take off these undergarments." Make you stick through the match.
You know what? I'd rather just see. You know what would also get me to watch a West Brom match? If I just saw people kicking the absolute S word out of their mascot because it's a combi boiler. Their mascot is a combi boiler. I get a feeling that has everything to do with a sponsorship detail. Rest in peace, Gunnosaurus.
IP.
Oh, Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 3 was the Friday night game on pay-per-view. Hot pay-per-view action from the. To be fair, this was an absolute. How do I put this? Absolutely effed. Aston Villa. Aston Villa got absolutely effed in the chats. Leeds United. Patrick Bamford just got a hat-trick against them. 55th, 67th, 74th minute. Potentially the easiest game for Leeds United. Aston Villa, they have Jack Grealish.
Is that
a fair assessment of Aston Villa? I've always kind of thought they've got Jack Grealish.
I mean, to be honest, I just thought it was very. I was just sitting there after the match going, that was weird, that, because, of course, didn't have the match on, but I was keeping an eye on it on BBC Sport website, and it was 0-0, and I was like, oh, this is going to be dreary, this ends 0-0. And then it felt like 5 minutes later, I check it, and it's like, oh, 3, Patrick Bamford scored a hat-trick, oh. But to be fair, I did watch the highlights, and Patrick Bamford turns into prime Brazilian Ronaldo.
Fat
The goals he
Ronaldo.
scored. Literally, well, I was gonna say R9, but it's
Just Fat Ronaldo. Every
for
football
Fat
fan's just
Ronaldo.
called him Fat Ronaldo.
The Ronaldo who's bald and gambles.
And probably owns a Burger King restaurant somewhere for free burgers.
Probably.
I feel
in
sorry.
Rio, yeah.
I feel sorry for him because he was he was genuinely one of the greatest strikers ever to live, and
He still is.
Yeah, it still is. But it's like no. Now that you've put on a shed ton of weight, yeah, Fat Ronaldo, because we got Cristiano.
To be fair, I'd rather be
Fantastic
him than Ronaldinho. I'd rather be fat and still rich than being arrested and put in prison for a fake passport with my brother.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid. That was a wah 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 moment for Ronaldo.
It's a bit of those, pranks. It feels like.
Absolutely. I got to admit, I did not pay to watch the Leeds United match. Instead, I watched the East Midlands derby, which was available on Sky Sports. It was actually quite a good game between Derby County and Nottingham Forest. Right, let's get to today's game. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1, which was the lunchtime kickoff on BT Sport. Antonio, oh my God, Antonio's goal was amazing. Like a back scissor kick. Oh, mwah. Awesome. Awesome setup.
What confused me a little bit was when I seen was it Souček who ran to the line for it. When I seen no sort of Man City players, I seen him standing there, and I'm like, go and put pressure on him. I seen none of them ran towards the ball. And I'm like, but then you see what's his name, Sufal on the right wing back, crossed in first time, seemed to hang in the air for the longest time, and then Antonio again. It's just he's one of those players who is just he's a bit weird. Like he just seems to score a lot.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't think he would.
He's fab. He's a fabulous.
To be fair,
player.
First half they were great, and then as soon as he went off, City just do what they do and pile the pressure on. Actually turned up. To be fair though, like they did put the pressure on, but they didn't seem to really chasing the win. I thought City could really do with the win. They need the points. But when it ended 1-1, I was like, hey, I'll be happy with that.
You know, City, I think before the game, BT Sport were always on about, the London Stadium is a good hunting ground for Man City because it's got quite a wide pitch for Man City to do what they do best, whereas West Ham are, let's just say, I was going to say a wee bit more conservative, but massively conservative in terms of their playing style because it's David Moyes. Foden with the equalising goal on the 51st minute Manchester for Man City. Raheem Sterling normally has a good game against West Ham, but not really present. Not really present today. Mikel Antonio too good for West Ham? Quickly.
I can't see him playing anywhere else really. I mean, he could probably play for somewhere else. I just think to be honest, I don't think they'd let him move because he's so really their only threat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, in like open play, that he's their only threat, and then because they don't play Yarmolenko until later on, comes on as a sub. He cuts him from the right. That's all he can do. But yeah, I don't think they'd let him go, and he could play for a top 10 side, definitely. Because he's a bit like what he feels like for me is just a bit of a muscular version of Jamie Vardy. Maybe not as good shooting, but just that kind of plays on last man, likes to really run the defenders ragged, run for days, that kind of player. That's what I think he feels a bit like to me. So
fair enough. Let's move on then to the team that is definitely getting relegated in your opinion. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. Now, I was not insane enough to buy this London derby, this hot English footballing action on pay-per-view. I should do like the American guy that does all the boxing on box office. But no, I've gone with the Television X woman. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. Oh, where do we start with this? So they had Tim Sherwood on Soccer Saturday. because I don't watch. I am a BT Sports subscriber, but I don't watch Score Center because there's a 1 in 8 chance that one of the people will be Robbie Savage, and I can't. I want a Savage-free life. Otherwise, it's Michael Owen. Which, thanks BT, I really enjoyed the Champions League this week. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. Rideweld with the 8th minute goal. Zaha 64th minute for Crystal Palace 2-0. Kamara sent off on the 88th minute, and Kearney with the 95th minute goal for Fulham. So from the analysis that Tim Sherwood gave on Soccer Saturday, Fulham have one plan. It's all-out attack, and Roy Hodgson knew that, so he just went, okay, we'll just keep everybody back and hit you on the counter. Long balls. And it worked, because Fulham are... this is the first time I've heard actual criticism of Scott Parker. Because they only... So clearly he has a way of that he wants to play. And he cannot adapt. That is the criticism labelled at him, that he cannot adapt to play a different way. I'm kind of convinced that is probably the case, but that's how they played when they got promoted. They're going down anyway. They may as well go down in a blaze of glory. Or absolutely epic failures like Derby County 07-08. Shall we move on from this match very quickly, because it's not really much to say other than you said it earlier, Callum. Fulham going down.
Pretty much. To be honest, okay, criticise him, but he just hasn't got the players, I don't think.
He's
got decent attacking players, but defence is non-existent. They bought a really good goalkeeper on loan, but even he can't do nothing with shambolic defence in front of him.
You know what? I think Fulham have got a very good squad for the Championship next season. And that's not even being harsh. They have got a good squad for the Championship. But if they really want a good run in the Premier League, then they need to change. Otherwise, they're in danger of becoming like West Brom in the late 2000s, yo-yoing between the Championship and the Premier League. Right, let's talk about the most boring game of the weekend, the one that's just finished. Manchester United, Chelsea. Man United 0, Chelsea 0. What do we say about this game, Callum? It was just boring. The most entertaining bit was Evra and Hasselbank. Sorry, I knew the name. Was chatting to you about it off air, but Evra and Hasselbank getting into a potential halftime argument. That was the most entertaining part of the game. It was, other than that shot from Rashford. Marcus Rashford, MBE. Gotta keep that in there. Right. National treasure, as the commentator said. Marcus Rashford, MBE. To be fair, he is a national treasure for what he does for on that side of his career. But just because he's a national hero doesn't mean he's not going to escape criticism from us, because neither of us are Manchester United fans. Shall I just give this one to you, and you can just say it's a really boring game, and we can move on?
Yeah, I think fact of the matter is, people actually came in thinking, oh yeah, this will be lots of goals, be interesting. No, it was just simply two teams who didn't want to lose, and they were really too scared, both of them, to even try anything. Slow. I'm just looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's interview, and he's like, oh yeah, there's positives to take out of this. What? He didn't concede a goal.
Yeah. We didn't get spanked by Chelsea or another London team. We didn't get spanked by another London team like Tottenham.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is that pretty much? Oh my goodness! Is that the best crap Manchester United can hope for now? Is not getting spanked by London teams? Oh goodness!
Pretty much it. I think I would have legitimately paid for Evra and Hasselbank to start scrapping on the table between them at half time.
Sky Sports box office.
Yeah, we got the UFC on tonight. Let's get these in a case together.
That's on Fight Island. BT Sport box office for
that. Dana White going, well, UK fans, Fight Island.
Patrice Evra versus Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And then you get Joe Rogan commentating. I will only watch it if Joe Rogan is commentating.
Yeah. Literally, the way you said that then, like that name just perfectly fits with like a UFC or wrestling announcement. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And then the music. Boom, boom, boom. Literally, that'd be
Chelsea.
perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The live heart pay. Oh, sorry, I'm doing the American accent then. Sorry, I need to do the television X. The live hot pay-per-view action tonight is Liverpool versus Sheffield United.
I mean, the way you say Sheffield United then just sounds a bit creepy, but
I know. The Steel City itself. Yeah, 0-0 at the moment. Callum is, of course, he's paying for it. £14.95 on Sky Sports box office. Yeah, definitely paying for it. Like anyone who paid for... By the way, anyone that paid for the Burnley-West Brom game, okay, Burnley and West Brom fans are forgiven for paying £14.95 for a match that they probably saw as a winnable match. But anybody else, you're insane. You are actually insane. Literally insane, you know. Literally insane. Whilst Callum finds the Liverpool-Sheffield United match, which he's totally paying £14.95 for, we can't say otherwise, and we can't say where you can watch it because that would be highly illegal. £14.95 from Sky Sports box office. And you can watch. I wonder if they got... Who have they got as pundits? Is it Hasselbank and Ever again? Did they just reuse the same pundits?
I have no idea because it's because you pay for it. It's Sky Sports box office, isn't it? So I have no idea.
I assume they just use the same presenter and the same two pundits from. It's just the same studio. They just go from Sky Sports Premier League to Sky Sports box office.
Oh,
the hot Premier League action for tonight coming from Liverpool and Sheffield United. Right, I'm just trying to load up all the championship results whilst Callum finds a way that he can watch legally Liverpool versus Sheffield United.
Legally, of course. Yeah, I mean, I've just got it on now, but I mean, I've also got I've still got Ever and Hasselbank on my TV screen.
That means
so
that means they can't even be bothered. Oh, they can't even be bothered to change it. Right, let's go to the Championship. And I have to tell you about last night's East Midlands derby. It was a very good game. That's not Derby County, that's Derry City. I nearly said Derry City then, because they played in the Irish Premier League last night. But the Championship action was the East Midlands derby. It was Nottingham Forest 1, Derby County 1. It was actually quite a good game if you didn't watch the Aston Villa Leeds match, because it was a very good game. Right, let's go through the scores. Scott,
just quickly, Dan. Yeah. You know what you should do? All the Championship, League 1, League 2 results should read out like that old BBC commentator on it, the drone. Nottingham Forest.
Like they have on Sky Sports, where it's like, and now the results from the Sky Bet Championship.
Yeah.
Watford 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Bristol City 1, Swansea City 1, Cardiff City 1, Middlesbrough 1, Coventry City 0, Blackburn Rovers 4, Huddersfield Town 1, Preston North End 2. I feel like a pillock doing it this way. I've got to be honest. I'm going to go back to doing it normally. Millwall 1, Barnsley 1, Norwich City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 1. I mean, we've already said Wycombe are going down from the Championship on this show. They're not good enough to stay up. I'm sure they'll enjoy the season. Hopefully they'll get some fans in towards the end of the season. I hope they will, because they'll sell out Adams Park and they'll sing at the fact that they're in the second tier because they were a non-league club years ago. Martin O'Neill got them promoted to the Football League. QPR 0, Birmingham City 0, Reading 3, Rotherham United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Luton Town 1, and Stoke City 3, Brentford 2. Sky Bet League 1, Gillingham 0, Fleetwood 2, Accrington Stanley, Bristol Rovers match postponed. due to COVID. Blackpool 1, MK Dons 0, Burton Albion 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, Doncaster Rovers 1, Crewe Alexandra 2, Hull City 1, Peterborough United 2, Lincoln City 1, Ipswich Town 0, Northampton Town 0, Charlton Athletic 2. The Immortal Derby was postponed. I am, of course, talking about the scum that is Oxford United versus the greatest team to wear red north of Barcelona, apart from Liverpool, Callum, Swindon Town. Match postponed due to COVID outbreak within the Swindon Town squad. Only one positive test, though, as far as I was aware, from Friday.
Postponed to one positive test?
Yeah, because I remember reading it out, because I do local radio in Swindon, so I remember reading there was local paper report from the morning saying that the game was going to get postponed, and I do the drive time show, and by 6 o'clock there was no official EFL statement, but later on the EFL said it was going to be postponed. But I think there were a few potential isolation issues for Swindon Town. Shrewsbury 1, Rochdale 2, Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 3. That was a Premier League game about, 10 years ago? Wigan Athletic 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. League 2 looks like this. Exeter City 3, Scunthorpe United 1, Barrow 2, Walsall 2, Bradford City 0, Newport County 3, Cambridge United 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Cheltenham Town 0, Mansfield 0. Colchester United 2, Harrogate Town 1, Grimsby Town 1, Carlisle United 1, Morecambe 1, Forest Green Rovers 2. I feel like I'm doing the Sky Sports guy again. His voice, not him. Oldham Athletic 1, Port Vale 2, Salford City 1, Crawley Town 1, Stevenage Borough 0, Leyton Orient 2. I've always called them Stevenage Borough because that was their old name, but they're just Stevenage now. Stevenage 0, Leyton Orient 2, and Tranmere Rovers 2, Southend United 0. So they're going to be having a party on the south side of the River Mersey tonight. The FA Cup, fourth qualifying round. This is the final round before we see the first round proper. By the way, I'm very much excited for the FA Cup this year because none of it is on a pay television channel. It is all on ITV and the BBC. This is fantastic. This is what we need for the FA Cup. Free-to-air football. Every game of the FA, or all the games that are going to be televised are going to be on free-to-air television. FA Cup. Let's see who's in the first round. Aldershot Town 1, Woking 2, Banbury United 2, Bury Town 1, Bath City 0, Havant and Waterlooville 3, Boreham Wood 2, Wimborne Town 0, Brackley Town 5, Marisk United, don't know them, 1, Canvey Island 3, Cray Wanderers 2, Cray Wanderers, the oldest team in London, by the way. Just a weird fact that I know. Chester FC 0, Marine 1, Concord Rangers 2, Chippenham Town 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Hartley Whitney 0, hope I'm saying that right, Darlington 2, Cambridge City 0, Eastbourne Borough 1, Dulwich Hamlet 0, Eastleigh 3, Weston-super-Mare 1, FC United of Manchester 2, Guiseley 1, Hemel Hempstead Town 0, Hampton and Richmond Borough 1. Here's the one, Callum. Eccleston Town 0, Hartlepool United 6. Oh. I'm going to say that was a tight game.
Very.
Kings Lynn, Notts County, match cancelled. Leiston 2, Barnet 3, Maidenhead United 2, Cray Valley Paper 3. Malden and Triptree 1, Haringey Borough 0, Shoeling 0, Torquay United 2, Solihull Moors 4, Wrexham 0, that Hollywood shine still not having come to Wrexham, South Shields FC 2, Halifax Town 0, Stafford Rangers 1, Skelmersdale United 4, Stockport 1, Stockport County 1, Chesterfield 1, Chesterfield 1, 7-6 on penalties. That sounds like a good penalty shootout to watch. Sutton United 0, Bromley 1 in a London derby. Tunbridge Angels 5, Taunton Town 0, Wealdstone 0, Hazen Yedding 2, Weymouth 2, Oxford City 3, Yeovil 3, Dover Athletic 3. Yeovil Town winning 7-6 on penalties. Those are your results for today. We're going to have a break and we're going to wait for the latest match to start. Which is Liverpool versus Sheffield United. I'll get my words right. And then afterwards, we'll talk about the UEFA Champions League. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the Football Fan Show, and it's not good news from Liverpool. Well, depending on your perspective, I should say. From Callum's perspective, not good news. Liverpool 0 at Sheffield United 1. A contentious VAR decision. Callum, tell me, when was the first time, when was the first time we mentioned contentious VAR decision? Oh wait, it was before the Liverpool game even kicked off. This must be like a kick in the teeth.
It's just shambolic. As I keep on saying, the lads get away with it. Nothing's going to change. They're going to keep on making stupid mistakes that decide big matches. These matches are big. That they make. These players have a career out of this, and if these decisions are affecting their career, and they can't even the way in a normal place you're allowed to make a complaint about something, a normal workplace you're allowed to make a complaint about something. They make a complaint about this, they get fined.
Yeah,
because you're not allowed to criticise these officials. Not allowed to.
So I'm following the match commentary on BBC Sport, and they've even said if any Liverpool fans have any hard feelings about the penalty awarded, which is fairly unthinkable, I know, it's worth flagging that was the first penalty, the first Premier League penalty Liverpool have faced at Anfield in 2 years and 17 days since a 0-0 draw with Man City in October of 2018. Riyad Mahrez took it. And,
skied it, yeah.
Yeah, skied it. Put it into the Kirkby end, if memory serves the reporter. Penalty appeal now. The Blades have had another shout for a penalty waved away by Mike Dean. Was that handball? It struck the arm of Andrew Robertson, but not in a meaningful way. So I'll keep an eye on that one. But it is Sheffield United 1-0 up against Liverpool. Sander Berge with the stepped up penalty. Put it to Alisson. Put it to his right. Alisson's left. Alisson dives to his right. The player's left. So Alisson dives the wrong way, and the Norwegian Sander Berge put Sheffield United 1-0 up. I'm just keeping an eye on this penalty appeal. Doesn't look like it's gone anywhere. So no second penalty for Sheffield United. I just want to go through the team lineup and say that Ryan Brewster playing against his old club for Sheffield United. Could that be an omen? Let's see.
Probably.
First half, 22 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Sheffield United 1. Right, we'll move on now because I know you don't want to talk about this. We're going to talk about the UEFA Champions League. I do love the Champions League song, and I would be very gutted if, say, a European Premier League was to form and then completely destroy the Champions League, because I love listening to the Champions League theme. Yes, the UEFA Champions League and Europa League, the lesser competition, is back. So the Champions League is back this week. Did you watch any of the games, Callum?
Yeah, well, I watched a couple. Just before I go on to that, sorry, just want to point out, I've just realised that the referee on this match is Mike Dean. Absolutely. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't he? Clown himself. I mean,
I nearly spat out my beer then.
Yeah, Mike Dean. I mean, you've seen his antics. He's in it for the fun of it, because he loves making himself the centre of attention.
It was Mike Dean that sent off. Wasn't it Mike Dean that sent off the West Brom manager, who I can't remember? Bilic. I'm sure it was Mike Dean that sent him off.
I think it was.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves. I mean, in any game, Mike Dean is the referee. He is, you know it, Callum. He is the star of that game.
I think he has a quota. He has a quota of I must have at least one contentious decision every match.
I mean, the fans don't pay to watch the football. They pay to watch Mike Dean.
That's the problem.
We're just
That's
idiots
That's
watching
the
the
problem.
football.
He laps it all up. He loves being the centre of attention, and we love it for him because he's just a bit funny. He's just a bit of a funny old man. That's the problem. Him and the other R1 who's a bit tubby. Shouldn't even be bloody refereeing it.
Gotta love contentious refereeing decisions. Right, the Champions
What's his name?
League.
John Moss.
John Moss. Yeah. Champions League. Then we'll go with. I've got Wednesday's results. Where's Tuesday's? Let's start with Tuesday's results. Chelsea 0, Sevilla 0, and probably one of the most forgettable games in the Champions League this year so far. Two teams that didn't want to get beat. Much like Chelsea versus Manchester United. Rennes 1, Krasnodar 1. That was also in the same group, Group E. We kind of both know who's going through there, Chelsea and Sevilla. We did our Champions League predictions a few weeks ago. Zenit St. Petersburg 1, Club Brugge 2, Lazio 3, Borussia Dortmund 1. Now, that is not a result I saw coming. Borussia Dortmund, I can't say that they're in trouble after losing one game.
No.
I can be that sensationalist, but that's poor journalism. I'm not going to be that sensationalist, but that is a bad game. That is a bad performance from Borussia Dortmund. And Jude Bellingham, by the way, became the youngest English player to play in the Champions League. That match for Borussia Dortmund is a Champions League debut to forget. Dynamo Kiev 0, Juventus 2. Good game, that one. I watched that one. Barcelona 5, Ferencváros 1. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. Now, that was a very good game. I watched the Juventus game because it was like 5:30 kickoff because it was in Kiev. And then I watched the Manchester United away game. That was a very good game. It was either going to be the Manchester United game or the Chelsea game because I only ever watch the English teams in the Champions League. And I picked the Manchester United game because it's PSG and they reached the final last year. So I was actually expecting PSG to win. But I was very surprised, happy to be surprised, because I like watching the English teams win, no matter who it is. Really don't care who it is, as long as it's an English team at the end of the day that win the Champions League, because it gets us more brownie points in the European coefficient. So we get more teams in Europe. And then our dream of having every European spot down to League 2, and then Swindon Town can take our rightful place in the UEFA Champions League. So, sorry, I'm daydreaming again. PSG 1, Manchester United 2, and then RB Leipzig 2, Istanbul Başakşehir 0. I was surprised because we had our predictions for the Champions League group, and I sensationally said Istanbul Başakşehir would beat Manchester United to the Europa League. Yeah, I'm just going to admit now I'm an idiot and I was wrong. I was just saying it to be funny and sensationalist. I don't genuinely think that's going to happen. That's going to cause a few problems for PSG now because they've lost a crucial home game to Manchester United. Is this kind of... It's hard to say because there's only one game, but it's kind of what's happening to PSG, what happened to Poch at Tottenham. They reached the final and then they're like, oh, we've got to be better to win it. And it's like, oh, should we just stop playing for the manager? Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, PSG is still going to finish top, I'd say.
I don't know. I think Manchester United have a decent chance unless they completely mess it up against like Istanbul.
No, I think
Leipzig could finish top.
The next match is Leipzig goes to Old Trafford, and I think Leipzig could get something.
It'd be interesting to see. Actually, now that you say that, I do think that.
I mean, the reason I say that is because they went to Tottenham last season and beat them both home and away. And I think Tottenham are even especially this season, a better team than Man United.
Yeah. Right, moving on. Wednesday's fixtures: RB Salzburg 2, Lokomotiv Moscow 2, Bayern Munich 4, Atletico Madrid 0. I mean, did they ever stop playing last season's Champions League, or did they just
carry on?
Yeah, they just carried on. Oh, my favourite result of the entire group stage: Real Madrid 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3.
3.
That was my favourite result.
Plus, I think they had an equaliser ruled out in like the 90th minute.
Yes, they did, because I remember Gary Lineker saying, "Oh, it's 3-3." Nope.
No.
Absolutely fantastic. And then he
It's just
goes and wins El Clasico, which we'll talk about later. But
yeah.
you know how much I dislike Zidane. So as a manager, don't dislike him as a player. Just as a manager, I don't rate him. I don't think he's very good. Real Madrid. Oh my. Apparently, the rumor was if he didn't win El Clasico, he was going to get sacked, and I was just banking on Barcelona just being better than the average lot that they are. And to be fair, their 5-1 win in Europe kind of gave me a false sense of hope. And as I've said, La Liga could be won by a clown. And it will be. Zinedine Zidane, manager of Real Madrid. Okay, I'll stop with the Zidane stuff now. Inter Milan 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2. I love seeing that name on a script. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. Good game. Didn't watch it, unfortunately. I watched the... I can't remember which game. Oh, no, sorry. I watched the Liverpool game on the Wednesday. I didn't watch the Man City one. Olympiacos 1, Marseille 0. Ajax 0, Liverpool 1. Solid result. Liverpool didn't concede a goal. I mean, it's not a performance that would set the world on fire, but, when you're in the cold light of day after the match, it's just a professional performance.
Yeah, my first thought was I'll take it.
Yeah, you just want to take a professional performance, get the win, and move on.
Yeah, fact of the matter is, we took our front three off after 60 minutes, put a fresh new front three on, and we didn't concede. Like, some people say, "Oh, we were lucky." Ajax deserved at least a point out of it.
I just think that's a stretch.
I mean, they did hit the post and they had some good chances, but the fact of the matter is that we were breaking on the counter attack so many times. We should have scored one or two more ourselves. But to be honest, going to Ajax, who are still a very good team, no matter how many players seem to be taken away from them, they'll always be pretty strong these days. I'll take a 1-0 win. It was one of our toughest matches in the group stages, so I'll take that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Hello to Major Ferret 85621 on Twitch for watching. Hiya. Oh goodness, it's that Danish team that I like to call Miniland or Legoland. FC Michelin. Tire company. Midtjylland. How do I pronounce it? Educate me.
I think it's pronounced FC Midtjylland.
Midtjylland. Okay, I'm trusting you here to make me not look like a tit. Although I do that on a regular basis anyway, so you can't really help me there.
You don't need any help with that, no.
Oh, thank you very much. I excel at being a tit. FC Michelin, the tyre company, Midtjylland 0, Atalanta 4. I think a decent opening week for the Champions League. Opening match day 1. Good set of results. Next game's coming at you on the next week, actually. I think the 27th of October. Yeah,
I was surprised.
Thick and fast.
Yeah. When I saw the Tuesday was our next match, I was like, what?
They're all coming thick and fast, aren't they? Let's go through the fixtures just to tell you what's coming up. Lokomotiv Moscow are at home to Bayern Munich. Atletico Madrid take on RB Salzburg. Shakhtar Donetsk are at home to Inter Milan. I say at home, they're not playing in Donetsk, they're still playing in Kiev due to all that situation going on in the east of Ukraine. Shakhtar Donetsk versus Inter Milan. Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Real Madrid. Come on, Gladbach. Come on. Just beat them. Just do anything. Please just beat Real Madrid. It's become an obsession, Callum. I just want to see Zinedine Zidane. I just want him sacked. I want him to fall so far down the pecking order that he manages Accrington Bloody Stanley. And even they're too good for him. FC Porto versus Olympiacos. Marseille versus Man City. Atalanta versus Ajax. Liverpool versus Midtjylland. On Tuesday. Wednesday's fixtures. Krasnodar versus Chelsea. That's a 5:55 kickoff. Sevilla versus Rennes, Dortmund versus Zenit St. Petersburg. That'll be a good opportunity for redemption for Dortmund. Club Brugge versus Lazio. Ferencváros versus Dynamo Kiev. Oh, this is the one I'll be watching. Juventus versus Barcelona.
No, get up, Mo.
Oh, what's happened?
So Mo Salah was on the floor then for a second.
Ah.
Bloody Sheffield United, I hate the way they play.
They are to be fair, they are very negative. We'll get back to that in a moment. Juventus Barcelona, you excited for that one next week?
If Ronaldo's playing, and obviously Messi will be playing for that, but he just had to come back with a second positive corona test.
COVID
Yeah,
test. Yeah, it's
so
unfortunate.
I was looking forward to seeing them go up against each other, but it'll still be a good match.
Yeah.
Well, not as good as recent years. Recent years they've had better teams. Both of them just seem a bit average at the moment.
If you aren't watching the Krasnodar Chelsea match at 5:55, then may I invite you to watch the Istanbul Başakşehir PSG match, which is also on at 5:55. And then Manchester United, as Callum said, are taking on RB Leipzig. Rasenball Sport Leipzig at 8 o'clock. Do you actually know what Rasenball Sport means?
No idea.
It's something like grass ball sport. Lawn. No, it's something like lawn ball game or something like that. It's It's just so that they can fit the RB.
The only fact I know about RB Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg's names is that it has to be go on. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought we all scored. Is that it can't be called Red Bull Leipzig, it's RB Leipzig, and then it can't be RB Salzburg, it has to be Red Bull Salzburg.
Because in Austria, RB Salzburg are Red Bull Salzburg, whereas in the Champions League they are RB Salzburg, but RB Leipzig are not. They can't be called Red Bull in German in the Bundesliga at all, because it's banned. So they are called Rasenball Sport, which actually translates to lawn ball sports. Sounds like they're playing like what's that game they play in the Commonwealth Games? It's a bit like curling. Not polo. The one where they roll down the ball
bowls.
on the lawn. Bowls. That's it. Sounds like a bowls club, doesn't it? That's just what they do on weekends.
It's a bit high class, isn't it?
That's just what they do on. That's just what they do on weekends, isn't it? Oh goodness! What's going on in the Liverpool Sheffield United match?
Not much of anything really. Just dominating possession again. Sheffield United sitting back as they do, but they'll be happy that they've got a contentious penalty and they're 1-0 up, so they'll just sit back now.
I hate it when teams do that though, because to just settle for a 1-goal lead.
Well, the thing is that they're facing opposition which just are much better than them, so they can't play open, otherwise they'll get decimated.
Unless they're Fulham, of course, in which place they'll play open and get decimated anyway.
They can play anything,
Yeah, but I don't see Sheffield United winning this match. I've got to be honest. Liverpool should come back into this.
Stranger things have happened.
I know we've seen them. Manchester United losing 6-1. What was it? 6-1 to Tottenham, and then Liverpool losing 7-2.
Exactly. I specifically remember thinking before the Aston Villa match, I shouldn't have any problem with these. Yeah.
That was a weird weekend of football, but that was a fantastic weekend for any neutral. But
it's like that meme, innit? Manchester United lose 6-1 to Tottenham early on the day, and it's that meme, innit, where it's just put Liverpool badge there, and it's like hold my beer. We'll take you one further.
I did like all the memes of the police turning up at Jurgen Klopp's house saying, "We understand you let more than 6 in." That was quite funny.
Yeah, they should be allowed. We've got more than 6 here.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Right. Oh, one thing I was sent, and it's hilarious, and I've got to thank Gary Law for this because he sent it to me. And it was the biggest score of the night, and it was for Ajax. So any team looking to face Ajax next.
13-0, wasn't it?
13-0 away at Venlo. 13-0. I would go through all the goal scorers, but I'd be here until 10 o'clock, which is when we're due to be off air. 13-0. And we talk about that Manchester United and Liverpool games retrospectively being absolutely bonkers, but that really is. You know what? I want to organise a testimonial match between Venlo and Fulham and see who wins. That's what I want to do.
mean, I think if you could go to a negative score, I think if you could get that, if you
that is a rugby union score. That's a rugby score. That is a pretty poor game of rugby, but still, that's a pretty good result for that's a tight game of rugby. That's what Ajax have achieved. They've gone from massive football score to tight game of rugby.
Ain't nothing wrong with a bit of rugby. I like a bit of rugby.
Hey, I completely forgot the Six Nations was back on today, but never mind, if you want to contact us, you can do so on 0333 303 4868. You can also Skype us at TFFS Live. That's TFFS Live, which is also our Twitter handle. Go listen to the audio stream at deadhead.media/The Football Fan Show. Email thefootballfanshow@gmail.com. Twitch.tv/The Football Fan Show. Give us a like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Just search for The Football Fan Show Live. We'll be back in around 5 minutes. We are still going to talk about I want to say Pez's World League is coming to life, but the European Premier League, that's coming up after 9 o'clock. Next up, we are going to spend about 10 minutes talking about El Clasico. Maybe I'll bring up my hatred of Zinedine Zidane. It's not hate, I just think he's a bad manager. In a bit.
In a bit.
Welcome back to the Football Fan Show, with you through till 10. Callum Brown is my guest. You can call us 0333 303 4868. Standard network rates apply. You can also Skype us TFFS Live, which is also our Twitter handle, facebook.com/The Football Fan Show, or email your thoughts, thefootballfanshow@gmail.com. There's been a goal at Liverpool and Sheffield United. I'm going to try and tee you up like Jeff Stelling. There's been a goal in the Liverpool-Sheffield United game, but who for? Callum Brown.
See, it's Phil Thompson, and there's been a great goal, Jeff. It's for me, no, yeah. Well, I could go all Charlie, whatever his name is, and there's been a great goal.
I mean, he's not on there anymore, so I'm a bit upset by that.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch that much.
Just don't go
full of good ones.
Yeah, just don't do Paul Merson because your teeth will fall out.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
gum will fall out or something because he's always chewing bloody gum. Or Latiz. Oh, that's sad as well. Anyway, yeah, who scored?
No, it's Firmino scored. It's just watching back now. It was a cross in from Henderson. Mane heads it. What's the keeper's name? Can't remember the keeper's name. Saves it, and then Firmino just tap in.
So a pretty easy
Firmino,
goal.
Yeah, easy goal. But as I was saying to you off air, Firmino needs more goals, so I'll take anything he can get. One thing I will say though is that the Sheffield United pen, I've just seen it back again properly.
Oh,
and
have you seen a replay?
Yeah, and as people have been putting on Twitter, that I've seen, wasn't a foul, got the ball, and it was also just outside the box. So on both counts, it shouldn't have been a pen. But of course, Mike Dean, being his usual self, goes, F it, I'm up for a bit of spiciness.
He presses F in the chat, and then I feel like we need to give Mike Dean his own jingle, like an angelic. Aaron Ramsdale, by the way. Ramsdale is the
Ramsdale. That's it.
Sheffield United. But
yeah, good.
El Clasico. Quickly, we got 3 minutes to talk about El Clasico. Barcelona really disappointed me. I thought Zinedine. Well, the rumor was that Zidane was going to get the sack if he lost El Clasico. That's why I was like, I don't care about Spanish football. I used to be a Madrid fan during the Galacticos era. I don't care about Spanish football. It's not my thing. But I don't like Zinedine Zidane because of Gareth Bale. And I'm not Welsh. I'm not a Tottenham fan. I just believe he was a great footballer that was absolutely DICK'd over by Zidane. Because Zidane isn't a good manager. 3-1 to Real Madrid, and I did say it at the first show that we did that any idiot could win La Liga this season because Barcelona are a disjointed and disunified club. this season in terms of their playing style. I'll come to you, Callum, in a moment. I'm just going to go through the goal scorers. Valverde with the 5th-minute goal, putting Real Madrid 1-0 up. This was at the new camp, by the way, this game. Fati with the 8th-minute goal, equalising for Barcelona. Then a Ramos 63rd-minute pen put Real Madrid 2-1 up, and Modric with the 90th-minute goal, set up by Rodrigo. So, yeah, pretty simple. Done. Dusted. Real Madrid had lost the previous week, which is why Zidane was close to the chop, apparently. But they've won. Pretty standard stuff. Barcelona, despite their pretty good performance midweek in the Champions League, still looking very disjointed. Messi's still probably going to leave. I haven't seen anything from Barcelona to suggest that he's going to stay. It really all depends on the Barcelona. I think we've talked about this, Callum. It really all depends on the Barcelona presidential elections, because the current president's not going to win. We know this because we've talked about this, and even you've said that they'll bring in Xavi as soon as they can, and then that'll convince Messi to stay. It'd be a shame if he did, because I'd love to see him, even if it's Man City, even if it is Man City, I'd love to see him in a cold, rainy night in, what is it now, Burnley? Cold Tuesday night in Burnley, is it now? It was Stoke before, but now it's Burnley, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, could still be Stoke if you want to. Stoke,
we
have plenty of experience with Stoke. Stoke has lots of wet nights.
I mean, yeah, yes, it does. Hopefully they get drawn in the League Cup. Football gods, we pray to thee. Yeah, so I don't know if Messi will actually leave Barcelona. Probably, Koeman's probably going to last a year or two. I was very surprised when they got the failed Everton manager in. I was very surprised by their midweek result. I didn't think they'd do very well this season in the Champions League, but they won by a big margin midweek, and that gave me a false sense of hope, considering Real Madrid lost to Shakhtar Donetsk midweek. I was very surprised. Very, very surprised indeed that Real Madrid did win the match at the new camp. Thoughts, Callum, very quickly?
On El Clasico. Yeah, I was kind of keeping my eye on it.
I gotta be honest, I didn't watch it either. I don't like Spanish football. For those of you that don't know, is on Premier Sport. I think it's got its own channel on Premier Sport, because it used to be on Sky. Then it switched to the streaming service that the Leeds United owner owns. What is it, 11 Sport or something like that? And then they folded, and now they're on Premier Sport, which used to show like the National League. So yeah, I'm like, it's Real Madrid winning, doing what I'm not going to speak for you here, but they're going to do what I expect them to do, and easily just sleepwalk into the league title. I don't know about yourself and what your thoughts on where La Liga is going.
I mean, both Barca and Real have both been average this season. Haven't been particularly great. The fact that Barcelona are relying on I think he's almost 18, Ansu Fati as their best player, says a lot. They've still got that aging team that has been an issue last couple of seasons. Messi's head's not there.
Yeah, you can tell his head is gone.
I think his thing is that depends on what happens. He may say, he may go. Man City fans who want Pep to stay will want Messi to come, because if Messi comes, Pep will stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if Messi doesn't come, then Pep's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
I don't see why Pep would leave, though, because he hasn't done a... Sorry, that's a completely different point. No, go on.
I think it's the end of his contract this season. He hasn't signed an extension, I don't think.
I'm sure he'll sign one, but I don't see why he would leave.
Thing is, if they get knocked out of the Champions League, I think he'll definitely leave, because that's his only thing he's got left to win there now.
I don't think he will, though.
Depends. It depends. I don't think they're going to do well.
No.
Man City just have some kind of mentality thing when it comes to Champions League. They just somehow just get, no matter what team they come up against, whether it's a Lyon or whether it's anyone in the knockout stages, because what I find funny is they always get and I'm not saying this because I'm a Liverpool fan, but they always seem to get the easiest of the
run to the
group
litter.
stages.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had
the
to
run to
run
the
through
litter.
to the runs through to the knockout stage always seem to be easy for them, and they seem to stroll them. But then you get to the knockout stage, no matter who they face, they just always seem to struggle.
I think maybe it's that mentality of having played Gillingham 20 years ago in a Division 2 playoff final. Tony Pulis is Gillingham, and they're still stuck in that. No, I'm joking. None of the players played in that match. Real Madrid, Barcelona won, Real Madrid 3. Pep Guardiola's contract, not a topic of discussion, but it's a very nice segue. But we'll see what's going on. At half-time, Liverpool 1, Sheffield United 1. Second half, Callum's watching it, as you can see. He'll keep an eye on that one as we talk FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer's World League, European Premier League is the story. I'm going to find the deets. We'll be back in 2. Welcome back to the final part of the Football Fan Show. It's all talking about the FIFA-backed... Well, last week it was, what was it, Project Big Picture, which is now dead. Long may it rot in hell. Given the passionate rant that I gave, calling EFL owners absolute idiots for agreeing to it in the first place. It's like they sold their soul for money, and I called them all crooks. And yet today, it's a different day. Same thing. The big clubs want to break away from... Well, not this time. They don't want to break away from the Premier League. They want to break away from the Champions League. They want a European Premier League. So, essentially, it's no different than the European Super League that they keep talking about, that is often touted to replace the Champions League. The Champions League has to go on in its current format until 2024, until UEFA can make changes to it, because that is what was agreed by everybody. But I'll give you the details now. European Premier League, the clubs involved in the format, impact on the Premier League, and Champions League as well. Leaked plans for a lucrative... It would be lucrative. Morgan Stanley, by the way, was the... He's not a guy. It's a bank. Was going to be the chief financiers of this. When you have to go to like a hedge fund and bank like Morgan Stanley to get your money, oh goodness, it's just awful. Leaked plans for a lucrative European Premier League they did set the footballing world ablaze and left the game to just bewilderment on my part. I was bewildered by it. Liverpool and Manchester United, where have I heard those two clubs planning to change English football before, have participated in talks over the construction of a new FIFA-backed tournament, which would be funded by the sum of £6 billion. It was actually Wall Street Bank, JP Morgan, sorry I got that wrong, £4.6 billion JP Morgan would have put into the game. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham have been reportedly approached as the revolutionary proposal takes shape, although we'll get to everybody now pulling out and saying it wasn't my idea, it was their idea. No, it wasn't my idea, it was his idea. No, it was his idea. For God's sakes, it's like... Can I just say, I hated the hot potato from the Premier League about Project Big Picture because they were clearly involved at a stage where they shouldn't have been. And I hated that. And now I hate this even more with a passion, because Manchester United as a club, Liverpool as a club are going, well, it's not our idea, it's FIFA's idea. And then FIFA's president comes out saying, it's not my idea. I don't approve of this. It's somebody else's idea. It's like, someone just come out and admit, yeah, this is what we want to do. Because Manchester United midweek said, oh, we're committed to changing UEFA and the Champions League from within. Clearly their tactic is destabilisation wherever it suits them. What does this mean for the future of the Premier League? Who is involved? England, France, Germany, Italy and Spain. Meaning, so this is why I always hate the European Super League idea. Because the Champions League isn't just English, French, Italian, Spanish and German teams. It's Turkish teams, it's Russian teams, it's Ukrainian teams, it's Dutch teams, it's Portuguese teams. So how do you justify, this European Super League when you have big clubs in smaller countries that are arguably, historically, more successful than some of the clubs you're inviting? Tottenham have won their fair share of European trophies. I mean, they won the Cup Winners' Cup. They were the first British team to win a European trophy, Cup Winners' Cup, in the 60s. They won the Fairs Cup, UEFA Cup, or Europa League now, in the late 70s, early 80s. But Porto have won more Champions League titles than Tottenham. They've won about 3 or 4. Benfica have won more Champions League titles, European Cups, than Tottenham. Ajax have won more European Cups than Tottenham. Heck, Celtic have won more European Cups than Tottenham. But you're telling me that Ajax, Porto, and Benfica... Okay, I understand the Celtic one, but you're telling me Ajax, Porto, and Benfica don't deserve a place in a European Super League, even though Ajax did nearly win the Champions League like a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when they had just an sensational run. And you're telling me that they don't belong in a European Super League because you want to put Tottenham and Arsenal. Tottenham, Arsenal, and Manchester United, Liverpool, I can justify being in it because they're the 2 biggest clubs in the country. That I'm fine with. But Man City, Tottenham, and Arsenal, I really can't justify it. I can't justify it. Chelsea at least have won a European Cup. They've won the Champions League at the very least. Okay, it was really recent, and they got lucky. But they, forever they are the first London club to win the European Cup. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, I could just about justify Chelsea being in it. But what I can't justify is Ajax, Porto, and Benfica being told, yeah, you're from second-tier nations, aren't you? You can't compete against us. When, to be honest, given the same financial impetus, Benfica could compete against Real Madrid, Barcelona, Porto could compete, Ajax could compete. We talked earlier about the conveyor belt of talent that Ajax produce, and you're telling me they don't belong at the top table. Okay, yeah, get rid of your Istanbul Besiktas and your Zenit St. Petersburgs. Okay, 2 state-owned clubs that are really just irrelevant in the European picture. I'm sure Zenit fans won't enjoy that because they have won a UEFA Cup in their past, but they are owned by Gazprom, which is a UEFA Champions League sponsor. Oh, God, I hate their adverts. But other than that, okay, yeah, Dynamo Kiev, they've done okay in the European Cup. Hey, Red Star Belgrade have won more European Cups than Tottenham, and you're telling me,
yeah,
how do you justify that? I don't understand.
Just jump in. Sorry,
go.
This has nothing to do with European pedigree, because if it was, they'd have Aston Villa in there. Have Aston Villa won it?
Yep.
Yep. Nottingham Forest, they'd have in. They've won twice.
Yep.
So don't get me started. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with money.
Money.
The biggest club, the most wealthiest clubs in the wealthiest nations. That's why Tottenham and Arsenal and Man City are getting in. Because if it was just based on European pedigree, it would be Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest,
Villa.
Yeah. Who else have won? England have won European Cups.
That's it.
So it'd be them 5.
Yeah.
It'd be them 5.
Yeah.
And then you would have your Red Star Belgrades and all that. I don't even think Red Star Belgrades are in this year's competition.
No, they're not. They're you'd even get the football club without a name. What are they called now? SBFC. And I'm legally not allowed. Legally, their name is owned by the Romanian military. So they can't be called. They can't be called their official name without being sued. So they are called SBFC, and that is why they are licensed as such on FIFA games. I am, of course, talking about Steaua Bucharest, who have won a European Cup, of course. But they are SBFC now.
I mean, what's so good about the Champions League is that as long as you can qualify, any club in most European countries can play in it as long as you qualify. So you get what you got. You got Krasnodar in there now.
Yeah, to be fair.
Ferencvaros, who's got beat by Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know, Dave, if it was up to UEFA and the big clubs, it would just be the most
It would be the
money
top four from
rich.
Germany, the top four from France, the top four from Italy, the top four from Spain, and the top
Exactly.
4 or 5 from England.
Top four, like richest. I mean,
Yeah.
money wise, top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So
Just the ones that can make UEFA the most amount of bank.
exactly, and the most money to the clubs in return, to making them rich clubs richer.
I'm bewildered, perplexed, and always I get more angry and annoyed by every passing week when a big club, and to be fair, I've got to say the fans of these clubs are absolutely wonderful. Manchester City fans, when Project Big Picture came out, just immediately jumped on their club and just went, no, this is, we achieved the dream and you're denying that to everybody else. How can you justify that? So actually, it's the fans of these clubs know that their club is making
I
wrong
apologise for
moves.
fireworks.
Somebody celebrating.
No, there's lots of them every night the past week. Because as you get to obviously towards bonfire night, they start going off like a week or two earlier. But just to also
the big city living.
Oh, here we go. Right, I was just going to interrupt by saying we've scored because I've just been up to seeing Sky Sports News, but it's been called for offside. Another tight one. Once I see this, if this is another tight one again, if this has been ruled off by VAR and it's something tight again, I'm sorry, it's not good enough anymore.
Let's just wait and see what happens with this one. Sheffield United versus Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Anfield 1-1 at the moment. Just waiting for this decision.
No, apparently it was marginal, but he was just off apparently.
So yeah, BBC Sport, because I'm following the live feed because I'm not paying $40.95 for a stream. Liverpool have it marked as Liverpool 2.
Oh no, apparently it is 2-1 now. So called for offside. Now apparently Jota's just scored. Jota's just scored. Let me just see. My stream is a couple of minutes behind, so I'm checking Twitter and Sky Sports News.
Yeah, it's been disallowed officially.
Yeah, Salah's, and then apparently we've just scored again, and this one counts apparently.
Salah. Oh yeah, this one has. What does it say? Mo Salah. No, then it says disallowed. Now I'm just waiting for the. This is the worst bit about pay-per-view football. If it was on Sky, I'd have it streaming on my telly. But that's just the name of the game. Here we go. Mo Salah scores 2-1. Sheffield United. 2-1 to Liverpool. It does. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah,
I have no idea. It looks like they've changed their mind on the.
Yeah, so Salah did score, but then it was called offside, and then we have just scored again, and this one wasn't offside. It is actually 2-1 now. I
literally have no idea what's going on there, and now it's saying disallowed again. This BBC stream, so I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. No idea. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know.
I don't know, Jeff.
I don't know, Jeff.
I thought they were making a substitution.
Get your fingers out. Count how many players on the pitch.
Yeah, but I thought they were making a substitution.
Anthony Van Den Boer getting sent off by sent off at Portsmouth. Whilst we wait for the referees to decide whether Liverpool are 2-1 up or still at 1-1, we were talking about the clubs joining this potential European Premier League. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico and Madrid also in there. Bayern Munich from Germany. Just Bayern Munich though. Juventus from Italy. Paris Saint-Germain from France. Also though, there may be The plans were said to have the backing of FIFA and are reported to involve Real Madrid president Florentino Perez as well. I can't tell whether he is just an arse, Florentino Perez. I don't know whether he's a good guy or just like the Emperor from Star Wars. I literally have no idea. Is he... Like, I get the feeling that he is the Emperor from Star Wars. Like, he's just evil, but I don't know. Good, yeah. He just sees plans for a European Super League and he goes... Yes, good. Let the football flow through your yes.
Only with the power of the dark side will your club.
Only the power of money can get your club into the Champions League. Oh goodness! I'm not. Can I just say this? I'm not opposed to the idea of a European Super League if you have, invitational teams for historic success. So you have to have an Ajax, you have to have a Porto. The fact that they're only inviting, according to this article from Sky Sports, Bayern Munich from Germany is a disgrace.
It is absolutely a disgrace.
Borussia Dortmund won the Champions League in the 90s. Hamburg have won the Champions League, a European Cup.
Have Schalke?
No, I don't think Schalke have.
Is it only Dortmund and
Dortmund,
and
Hamburg, and obviously Bayern Munich have won it about 18 million times. They've won it 5 times.
No 1860 in there.
No 1860. No. The greatest team in Munich have not won the European Cup, unfortunately. Won the Cup Winners' Cup, but never the...
of course.
Obviously, that's the one you want to win.
Yeah.
The defunct one. The one that stopped in 98. So... And only one team from France, and they're looking at PSG. PSG haven't even won the European Cup. At least Marseille won the first ever edition of the Champions League.
Marseille
back in '92. So Marseille have won a European Cup. Lyon have done reasonably well in the Champions League. I remember the mid-2000s period when they were the best team in France, and PSG was just like supported by literal fascists and failing to sell out the Parc des Princes, and then they got money. All great clubs. And just Juventus from Italy. Inter, AC, Roma, Lazio.
Yeah. Napoli, none of them.
Napoli. Atalanta are good. Udinese were. They were not a bad team either. Even you can even go Parma. Or even Palermo, who won a UEFA Cup.
Palermo, yeah.
You can go Parma, Palermo. You can do any of those clubs who have had historical success in European competitions. Monaco as well in France. I've completely forgot them because I forget that they're not actually... Bayer Leverkusen, by the way. They're the other German team that have won. They're the ones we forgot. Bayer Leverkusen. Have they won Did they win the European Cup or did they lose the final? I can't remember. Did Bayer Leverkusen win?
A Mönchengladbach won it?
I don't think so. I think they won the UEFA Cup. Hang on. I'm going to have to Google European Cup winners.
Yeah, you're going to have to. But I know. The fact that Porto won in there when, they
won it 3 or 4 times, Porto, by the way.
That's what I mean, Porto, yeah. If that one with Mourinho in 2001, was it?
2001, was it? 2004.
2004,
2003, 2004. They won the UEFA Cup the year before.
There you go. And then, I'm sure, haven't Benfica won it?
Benfica have won it loads.
Because I know they won it when Eusebio was playing for them. Pretty sure.
Because Porto... Oh, no, sorry. Bayer Leverkusen didn't win. They lost to Real Madrid in the final.
No.
So Borussia Dortmund have won it from Germany. As we said, PSV have won the
PSV
European Cup. Yeah, PSV Eindhoven, they've won it. As we mentioned, Steaua Bucharest have won it. Forest, Villa.
I don't think. Yeah,
Ajax,
Forest.
Feyenoord have won
it. I was going to say Feyenoord.
Celtic in 69-70. Celtic, obviously, we know this. They've won it. Benfica have obviously won it back in the early years of it when they were the best team in Europe.
Like the 50s, yeah.
Yeah, better than... They were even though Real Madrid won the first 5 incarnations of the European Cup, the next 2, Benfica beat that Real Madrid team and then only conquered by AC Milan afterwards. But Partizan Belgrade have reached the European final, so European Cup final. So the I hate the Champions League. Can I just be honest? I dislike the Champions League immensely. I don't mean to sound like one of those grumpy old people, but back in my day, it was a little less predictable. Back in the late. Oh, come on! I'm nearly 30. Come on. That's depressing. I'm nearly 30.
Yeah, lads, you're calling yourself old.
I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20. That's depressing. But
so am I.
Then we can be depressed together. No, I just find it. I want more unpredictability about it. I don't want Real Madrid winning it every year. I don't want Barcelona winning it every year. I don't want Bayern winning back-to-back European Cups.
To be fair, last couple of years, Real Madrid and Barcelona haven't got anywhere. Well,
yeah, to be fair,
they haven't. Nowhere near it. They've been terrible the last couple of years.
No, to be fair, they have. But I would just like a little bit more unpredictability. Last season's Champions League was a wee bit unpredictable because of the straight knockout.
Yeah.
Tournament that they held. So you had Lyon get through, you had Leipzig get through,
Atalanta.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Atalanta get through. And who would begrudge like a Galatasaray or a Fenerbahce winning the European Cup, or a Spartak Moscow or CSKA? Not a Zenit, because they're owned by a billion pound corporation, but they're literally a government plaything, like Istanbul Besiktas. But who would begrudge them? Heck, who would begrudge Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, AEK Athens? Who would begrudge those clubs, or Celtic or Rangers? Who would begrudge them?
Well, the thing is that Celtic anyway, and the Greek teams, they get in it. There's just, I always seem to find that Real Madrid always draw like a Fenerbahce or Olympiacos, whatever.
The Greek and the Turkish teams, yeah.
And they always get beat like 6-0 at home.
I do remember back in the day. There it goes again. I'm just going to get that on the t-shirt. Back in the day, I do remember back in the day the Greek teams were okay because there were about 3 of them. Now there's only 1 of them in the Champions League.
Yeah.
It used to be Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, and AEK Athens, or one of them was in the Europa League. It was normally Olympiacos and Panathinaikos in the Champions League, and then it was AEK Athens in the UEFA Cup Europa League, and then occasionally they'd swap around and it'd be Panathinaikos in the Europa League one season and Olympiacos and AEK in the Champions League, then Olympiacos in the Europa League. Yeah.
To be fair, most of these sort of lesser known teams in all the European countries, the only way for them to get into or have a remote chance of a Champions League is by winning the Europa League.
And that's Sevilla's tournament, so they can't do that.
No, can't take that away from Sevilla. They've got their name on it before even.
I've heard a rumour that they've already won this year's Europa League.
Very much.
They're not even in the tournament yet.
They're still in the Champions League, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows
they're
what
just going to get
there.
gifted it at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
Hence
may as well win it, yeah.
Just call the whole thing off. We've gone into different territory here. You know what I am excited for next year, if it happens? The Europa Conference.
Europa Conference.
Yeah, that's what they call. It sounds bad, doesn't it? It sounds like You know, when before it was called the National League, it was called the Football Conference, and like the Blue Square Bet Conference, or the Blue Square Bet Premier. I prefer the National League. Yeah. So the Europa Conference sounds like the worst teams in Europe playing for a title that doesn't even matter. And by the way, the Europa Conference will affect English football because the UEFA Cup place on offer to the EFL Cup winners is no longer valid. The EFL Cup winners now go into the Europa Conference instead. But I think I'd prefer to watch the Europa Conference and the Champions League. I'd rather watch teams like lesser known. I'm weird, I admit that. I like my lesser end football. Hence why I watched midweek 1860 Munich lose 2-1 to Saarbrücken on the DFB YouTube channel, which was a great game to watch, but a disappointing performance nonetheless. Was that goal given? I assume you would have shouted at me if it had been, but
Yeah, no, the Mo Salah one was given for offside, but then like a minute later, Diogo Jota scored, so it is 2-1.
so it is 2-1
Mm-hmm.
to Liverpool.
Liverpool,
That
yeah.
is the good turnaround that all the Liverpool fans would have wanted. Although on my stream it still says 1-1. Why is that? Come on, update. Now it says 2-1. Jota. Yeah, it is 2-1 to Liverpool at Sheffield United. Now Liverpool can play the Sheffield United way, keep 11 men behind the ball and defend for dear life.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No,
Never do that.
I just,
Don't
you
think we
know
can.
what? I think if Liverpool actually genuinely did that, I would just give props to Jurgen just for doing that. I'd just be like, well, we played the same way they played, so why not? Sorry, that's the worst. That's literally
I was going to
offensive.
say, you doing Arsene Wenger there?
Oh no.
Well,
The performance was poor. Sorry, that's what he's used to saying, isn't he? The specialist in failure. No,
he is a specialist in failure.
So
he is
now-
a specialist in failure.
Now, what annoys me about the so-called European Premier League, which is just a ploy for the big clubs to make money, is that everyone is now playing hot potato with it, as we've established, as I've said, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's not my idea." Manchester United came out midweek, and I said this a wee bit earlier. They came out midweek saying they want to change European football from within and work with UEFA, not undermine it. And now Gianni Infantino, the president of UEFA, of FIFA, is apparently performing a U-turn over his support for it. The plans described as the most important development in world football. Yeah, we already know this. The initial Sky News report claimed FIFA were involved in the talks, backing the project, whilst UEFA are strongly against it. We've seen UEFA and FIFA go up against each other before. They're the only two organisations that can fight for the heart of football, because it's weird to have a continental body be just as strong and as powerful as the world governing body, because you can't see like CONCACAF taking on FIFA because they'd absolutely get demolished, or the OFC, Oceania Football Confederation. You can't see that, or the AFC in Asia. You can't see them, or the Common Bowl in. Well, to be fair, Common Bowl could probably take them on in South America, or would they? But most South America, most of the alleged corruption came from North and South America, so you can imagine. But I can't see like the African countries, the African Football Union taking on FIFA, but UEFA can. AFCON.
Yeah.
I can't. UEFA are the only continental governing body that can challenge FIFA, because all of football's money is in Europe. The majority of it is in Europe.
That's where it is. It's all in Europe, yeah.
And you see FIFA trying to stick it to UEFA, but it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. Well, as they're just playing hot potato with it. So we come to the point where last week we reshaped the EFL. And we had the Premier League, the Championship, breaking away from the EFL, and then the Football Conference merging in, or the National League as it's called now, merging in with the EFL. Let's try and reshape European football. That's a massive task and a massive undertaking. European Super League or Champions League expansion to 36 teams? Because that's what they're touting. 4 additional teams to the Champions League. Maybe a 5th English team.
Well, then, so just 4 overall extra teams.
Yeah, just 4 overall extra teams. 36 teams.
How would you decide where the 4 extra come from, though?
No idea, but that's what they're touting. 36 clubs from 2024 it would be. Because that's when they're allowed to change the format of the Champions League, because the current format has been agreed upon by everybody. So they're not allowed to change the current format. But the 36-team Champions League is definitely something that has been touted and is apparently going to be a thing. Whether that means an additional English team, let's face it, we know where it's going. It's going to be an additional English team, an additional Spanish team, maybe another Italian actually, no, it would probably be a 4th French team and a 4th German team. Because then you get 5 from England, 5 from Spain, 4 from France, 4 from Italy, 4 from Germany.
Germany. Yeah, I think that's the way it'd probably be. And to be honest, I'd probably take that because it would just the entire sort of the format would stay the same. It's just be an extra sort of group in the
Yeah.
group stages.
It'd be like
Um,
five teams in a group, or like how they do with the some groups would have 5 teams instead of 4 or something, and it would probably be the weakest teams against the elite. So they couldn't be drawn like Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, whoever qualifies couldn't be drawn in the same group like they are now. But then they probably
yeah.
go a step further and say, oh, but Real Madrid can't be drawn into the same group as the English teams, and Barcelona can't be drawn into the same group. Neither can Bayern Munich or Juventus or PSG, because they're the big teams. So they can't be drawn against Liverpool or Manchester United, or kind of how it is now, but to a more extreme degree. So then you get Real Madrid in a 5-team group with like Istanbul, Başakşehir, Ferencváros, Midtjylland, FC Copenhagen, whoever qualifies from Russia, Zenit, maybe even a Ukrainian team, and then see them absolutely trounce everybody. Unless that Ukrainian team, of course, is Shakhtar Donetsk, in which case I'll lose 3-2. But that's how I see it. It's not great. This is the Daily Mail, reporting the 36-team Champions League from the 24-25 season to play 10 group games and a return to one-leg knockout ties. Now, the one-leg knockout ties I'm a massive fan of because it creates an unpredictability. What I would also like to see is like the old days in the FA Cup. The semi-finals and the final, obviously the final was played at a neutral venue, but I'd like the semi-finals to be played at a neutral venue. Say if it's Liverpool versus Manchester United in the UEFA Champions League semi-final, that match gets played at the Olympus Stadium in Berlin.
Or bit random, like yeah, but I do get what you mean.
Yeah. That's the first stadium that came to mind. Or
yeah,
it's AC Milan versus Real Madrid at the Parc des Princes or the Stade de France or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice because, like, when the FA Cup semi-finals used to be at Villa Park or Hillsborough or Goodison or Anfield or Old Trafford or Main Road or Highbury or wherever. It was enjoyable, not just at Wembley. So I would like to see that. Did you enjoy the knockout format of the Champions League last year?
I did, yeah, because it was a lot more sort of tense in the way that you didn't go into a match and think, well, it's only the first leg. We didn't have to worry about away goals. It was just a one-off kind of must-win game. Because like a lot of sort of 2-leg matches, it's almost like the first leg's almost written off in a way. Especially if it's like the way you go into it, like the way I'd go into it and the way little fans go into it is like we always go, well, we prefer the second leg to be at home because we can do what we want as long as we don't concede too many goals first leg. We know that we'll always have a good chance. We'll pretty much guaranteed win at Anfield. So it's kind of like if you just have it as one off in a neutral venue, it doesn't involve anything else other than just 11 players against 11 players.
I will add that the chief executive of the Swiss Football League, Claudius Schäfer, feels that even if a breakaway European Super League or European Premier League doesn't come to pass, the Champions League could mirror those plans anyway, with the gap between the best and the rest growing even wider. There are calls for a change in Europa League prize money to bring it closer in line. If you win the Europa League, you should receive similar, just in line with winning the Champions League. So maybe 5 or 6 million, just a couple of, I don't know what they call it. I don't know how much you get for winning the Champions League. What is it, 60, 70 odd million? It's something like that. And they're calling for better disparity because I think the Europa League winners get peanuts in comparison because it's the second division of European football. But obviously we've seen the group stage kickoff of the Champions League. Is this the end now? Are we witnessing the end of football as we know it?
No, I don't think it's the end of football. I just think it's heading in a direction which is taking away all the enjoyment of it. It's becoming something that's not centered towards the fans, where they invest money for the enjoyment of the fans. It's becoming something that money's being invested to make more money by the rich and powerful. It's becoming their plaything rather than a sport of the people. You know, like obviously we've even like back before we were born, it was so different because there was none of the money, and people still had the same level of enjoyment from it. You could take all the money out of it, and people still enjoy it because of the investments of TV companies, and therefore players have got to be paid massive sums of money, and then agents have come in to represent these players, and they all demand massive amounts of money. So it's become ruled by who has the most money, and it's that for somehow, some way, they have to find a medium because the money's not going to go away from it. So they have to find a medium which makes it so that the actual enjoyment, the fan centric vision of the organisations running it, it's got to be centred around fans, but they've got to find a way so that the enjoyment isn't being sucked out of it, because that's what's happening at the moment. Is because there's that much money involved that any kind of change that come in, such as VAR and the referees and that, it's all centred around. It's got to be in a way that the officiating's got to be as fair as possible.
Mm.
And it's going in a way. I mean, I don't know how to. Then again, I've got off on a tangent again. Another referees involved in it, but it's just the sport as a whole. I'm basically going into where the money side of it, and I mean, look,
Who can make the most money?
I get that the clubs need money to run on, but they, for now, whilst no fans are able to go in there, they have to find other sources of income.
Yeah. And,
Now, that's what means. Like, maybe the players have got to be human beings and say, you know what, we'll take a pay cut. We're still paying. We still want to be paid, but not these bloody ridiculous sums of money that they are getting paid at the moment, because that's unsustainable long term for the clubs themselves.
Absolutely, but you're never going to see that happen because
No.
people are just naturally very, very greedy, in my opinion.
But that's what I mean. Like they're talking about the bigger clubs sort of doing like a support package for the lower league, the EFL and that, to support them clubs from going bust.
Yeah.
If every club in the Premier League, or maybe just the top 6 or the top 10 or whatever, done a pay cut, even just a small pay cut for all their players, and put that together, that's a big sum of money that they could put towards helping the lower league clubs. But because they won't do that, they start doing what we almost did and what Arsenal are doing, which is either putting on furlough or sacking employees who have nothing to do with the actual football side of it, just working in their shops and stuff like that. They can't even pay their mascot, Gunnosaurus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your club mascot. It's something that's iconic with the club, and you're choosing to sack that rather than get rid of Mesut Ozil on 350,000 a week who isn't playing.
I mean, to be fair to Mesut Ozil, he did offer to pay Gunnosaurus's wages.
He did.
Whether that was a publicity stunt.
That's what I think that is. He's trying to put it across as well, then again, we are going speculation there.
We have to say that, yeah. But
I think it's that he probably has all the right intentions in the world, but I think it's also partly a power play against the hierarchy in the club.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because I honestly think, and I've seen people mention this, is that and now we're going into Mesut Ozil now, we're deviating again. Is that the owners? Arteta probably wants to play him, wants to include him, but the club themselves want to save money, so they're saying, don't play him. We want to force him out and make him terminate his contract by himself because we don't want to pay his money anymore, his wages. You know, try to cut back loads of money and we're paying £350,000 for a guy sitting there doing nothing.
I liked what Harrogate did with one of their players because one of their players refused to take a pay cut, so they just sacked him. After the lockdown,
Yeah.
they if you watch the Harrogate Town documentary on BT Sport, it's well worth a watch. It goes through their entire lockdown period into the National League playoffs, and it just that's what they decided to do.
Just interrupt there. Sorry, just a
Yeah, go.
weird bit of time in there. The Sky Sports News showed some of the highlights from some of the matches, and it just showed it's gone right now. Colchester United beating Harrogate 2-1. You mentioned
Oh,
Harrogate, and this
Sixth
came on.
Sense. Sixth Sense.
That's good timing there, Mr. Harrington.
Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 1. I'm just waiting for this game to end. It's it's saying plus 1 minute, only 1 minute of stoppage time, really? That can't be right. That can't be right
I
with
don't
all
know.
the VAR nonsense. And that's, I think in a future week we'll talk about scrapping stoppage time and just pausing the clock like they do in rugby, because I prefer that instead of like 10 minutes of games lasting 109 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it's just every week it has been. I've been very depressed as a lower league fan because obviously every club is struggling at a lower league level, and the EFL rejected the Premier League's rescue package based on the fact that there was nothing for the Championship. And I think the Premier League was justified in their explanation as to why they didn't include the Championship is because most of those clubs are owned by billionaires anyway, because they're all owned by big money people that want to get into the Premier League. League One and League Two clubs don't have that luxury, unless you're a Sunderland or a Portsmouth or you're attractive to that kind of investment. I mean, no one's investing in, random club at Newport County. No one's going to buy it. No one's investing in that. No one's investing in Accrington Stanley. No one's investing in Barrow. No one's investigating, Swindon Town. No one's investing in them. So no one's going to invest big money into those clubs. And it's depressing to see that the money continuing to set. It's got to stop at some point. And if a European Super League brings about a positive change and more money into the lower echelons of English football, I think that football operates now on this insane and quite frankly stupid idea that many people believe about capitalism. Sorry, getting political. Karl Marx here.
Trickle down economics.
Trickle down. Yeah, you've beaten me to it there. But yeah, this bizarre idea that the money will always flow through the system, and you've seen with what Marcus Rashford has had to campaign for, that just simply isn't true. And it's football reflects society. There are the haves and the have-nots. Luckily, you, Callum, support a club that has. I support a club that has not. Not that Swindon Town are going to die anytime soon. I'm sure we'll, there's plenty of supporters that are willing to put their own money into a pot to stop that from happening. But it's I suppose it's nice for these American billionaires and Arab states and Russian billionaires to just look down from their ivory towers and have no fundamental understanding of this sport and this game. And I think the best way it was put to me was on Sky Sports News, and I can't remember who it was, but I think it might have been Carragher, I don't know, but they said, football club ownership used to be a passion project. It used to be the local investors or somebody that saw an opportunity to get a club moving forward, or saw an opportunity where this club's got all the right tools, they just need a bit of investment to go forward. And that used to be the kind of method. Now, because of the Premier League, it is just, well, if I spend, 3 million quid on a League One club, spend insane amounts of money that they'll never pay back, then I can get the club into the Premier League, and it always ends in tears. Or you see vultures like, here's a throwback for you, Callum, Venky's, a chicken company of India, buying Blackburn Rovers. They don't sell chicken, they sell vulture meat, because they are vultures. They were vultures, they still own the club, And by the way, Steve Keane got a job in Southeast Asia as an assistant manager this week. Remember him? Awful manager. But you just see vultures like that buying clubs going, we can shove our logo on their shirt and be seen around the world and make ourselves a lovely bit of money.
Well, that, I mean, you talked for a while there. That kind of stuff reminds me of, as mentioned before, with Man United owners and Arsenal owners, the Glazers. They've got their money in. Is it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is it where the team
Tampa
in
Bay
America?
Bucks. Yeah. You're right there.
They spent that much money getting what's his name,
Super Bowl.
Tom Brady,
and Tom Brady. Yeah.
Tom Brady into their team. Is that they've bought Man United on debt, and then
they
sucked more money out of it and got even more debt from it.
They used a leverage buyout, and I as I say every week, that Manchester United can't register a profit less than £60 million a year. Otherwise, the banks can call in their debt, and the banks make money from Manchester United Football Club. But if they make a profit under 60 million a year, then they will be called on their debt.
It's not going to happen, because any kind of small amount of profit that they do make, what happens is they probably make a lot of profit, but what they do is the Glazers will suck out most of that into their own back pocket, so it looks like the club has only earned a small amount of profit, so it keeps the banks away from calling in their debt. It's like with Arsenal's owners, what's his name? Is it Gazidis? Is it?
Stan Kroenke?
Sorry, Kroenke, yeah, Stan Kroenke. That's it. He owns ranches in America.
He also owns an NFL team. I can't remember which one, though.
I think so as well. But he's buying just huge chunks of land in America with the money he gets from Arsenal. It's just the reason why it got me thinking about that is when you're talking about these certain owners who just come in, have no sort of thought of the spirit of actually the game when they're buying it. They're using it as sort of their own
cash cow.
As a cash cow.
As a bank account. As their own piggy bank. That's the best way to describe it.
Exactly. They're using it just to make money. Not using it is to actually improve the club as a whole. I mean, they'll improve it so much as it makes them money.
Yeah.
Not improvement for improvement's sake.
No, absolutely not. But it's to me it's irritating and just an absolute disgrace. And there's going to be more people that want to buy football. In fact, actually, the best way to sum this up and to close tonight's show is that there is a video on the Tifo Football YouTube channel. They do all these great little animated videos about Muammar Gaddafi, Colonel Gaddafi, former Libyan dictator, trying to buy Manchester United for around £300 million, around 2002, 2003, 2004, when the Glazers bought it. Before the Glazers bought it, genuinely, Colonel Gaddafi was talking about buying Manchester United using Libyan state money because he saw an opportunity to make money. And Colonel Gaddafi historically said he hated football, and he called football fans in Libya idiots and didn't understand the game. And his son was the captain of the Libyan national team. And his son, by the way,
that's probably an old conversation at family dinners, isn't it?
I know. Well, unfortunately, they're all either in prison or dead. But I remember his son played in Italian football, and he's the worst player that one of the clubs ever signed. But I can't remember which club he played for. But he was captain of the Libyan national team, and his manager wasn't allowed to drop him. But there are plenty of clubs like that. There's clubs like that in Tajikistan where the dictator's son owns football clubs. It's weird.
That reminds me of F1. That. Who is it? Is it Lance Stroll? Is it?
His dad owns Racing Point, and Aston Martin, yeah. We can all see, it's depressed. That now you've depressed me even more.
Depressed.
And on that note, I'm going to go play the world's smallest violin. This has been the Football Fan Show. I hope you're not too down after that, and I will just confirm for you the result at Liverpool. I hope I can confirm it. I'm waiting for it. Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 1. Happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy. 3 points. I
Three
mean,
points, always got to
never
be
should have been
happy.
a pen, but yeah, 3 points. That's all I'm hoping for. Result can kiss me ass. What do I say?
Well, we are after 10 o'clock. Go watch Match of the Day for all the highlights. More football on tomorrow. I'll just go through the Premier League matches that are on tomorrow. There's going to be some live, hot, man-on-man Premier League action in on pay-per-view. Oh, it gets steamy and saucy in the Premier League in English
Yes,
football. It does.
yes. I can confirm. Dan's getting very excited here.
Hot Premier League action. By the way, I'm annoyed that they're extending the pay-per-view period into November, even though apparently Sky and BT will not release the buy rates for the. We know why they're not releasing the buy rates because they're all bloody terrible. Oh goodness. Let's have a look at tomorrow. It's match week 6. Let's have a look at Sunday's matches. Tomorrow on Sky Sports at 2, it's Southampton versus Everton, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Newcastle, and the box office match, which I actually wish was on television. Why is Southampton and Everton not on box office? Or Wolves and Newcastle, either of those who could be on box office for the actual game that I want to watch, but I'm not paying $14.95 to watch it, is Arsenal versus Leicester City.
Yeah,
That's actually a
yeah.
good game. That's actually a good game. That's the hot pay-per-view action. Your Monday
I mean,
night hot
to
pay-per-view
be
action.
fair,
Go on.
the other two matches don't sound too bad either because both Southampton and Everton are in good form, and Wolves and Newcastle. Well, Wolves are always good to watch anyway, and Newcastle are in good form at the moment anyway themselves. So I think they'll be good matches.
But I'd
I
rather
guess it's
watch
going to
Leicester
be
and Arsenal.
yeah.
That'd be
No,
a
I
better
get that.
game. And
Yeah, I
a
mean,
match that is, by the way, if you pay $14.95 to watch it and are not fans of these clubs, then you are also, like anyone that isn't a fan of Burnley and West Brom that bought the Burnley West Brom match, you are also clinically insane if you buy Monday evening's hot Premier League pay-per-view man-on-man action. Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Bromwich Albion at 5:30.
I mean, that's got 1-1 written all over it.
That match is on Sky Sports box office. And then your Monday night football is Turf Moor, Burnley versus Tottenham. I'm shattered and a wee bit depressed after talking about the European Super League and the European
He's
Premier
going to
League.
cheer yourself up, mate.
I'm going to get a Magic 8 Ball and ask it, Magic 8 Ball, how are the big clubs going to destroy football next and depress me next week? Till then, have a good week. We'll see you next week from 7 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.